So this series was NBC Universal's first foray into the natural history space, and it has become the most watched nature documentary on linear television in over 15 years. So tell us a bit about how this show came about.
Well, at NBC, we knew, it was 5 years ago, 5 years in the making. At the time, the team knew that Peacock was on the horizon, and that this type of programming was fantastic for streaming, but also for audiences around the world. So for us, we decided to take a big swing and go for natural history, but team up with the best, with UTOS, with Mike Gutton and the BBC, and we knew that in the future it was going to be on Peacock. So we decided to take that big swing together, and it ended up paying off for all of us.
Yeah, I'd say it paid off, and it was quite a big swing indeed, because this shoot took over 5 years and 180 expeditions. What inspired the team at NBC Universal to take on such an ambitious project? And how did you successfully navigate the complexities of a production of this scale?
Oh boy, we'll have to talk.
Quite a question, I know.
We'll have to do this together with our partners, with Joey and stuff. But I think the biggest thing that we always want to look at is how do we tell stories with character, and this type of natural history programming has family at the heart of it, romance at the heart of it, battles at the heart of it, and that is something that's in all of our unscripted but also scripted programming. And we knew that this type of biodiversity focus on North America and South America has never been done before. So it felt like the right time. And when we partnered with UTOS and going to 100, having I forget how many crew members we had. And
well, we knew that going into it, it was going to have to be a 10-episode order. To do something like this justice, that you want to go on the full journey from North to South, Central America, South America, it needed to be across 10 episodes, but that requires a lot of content. So it's 5 years of shooting. It's over 35 different cameras that were used just to capture this stuff. New technology was created while they were there just to be able to get some of this content. So it's a huge undertaking, but you can plan as much as you want, but you can't plan for things like a bear coming to your campsite and knocking, equipment off a cliff edge, and then there goes that, or bison blocking the path that you need to go, or crabs getting stuck in your vehicles. So, but luckily we're working with the experts at the BBC Natural History Unit who have seen all of this, and we're able to adapt. So, great team. You have to have a great team, otherwise it can't happen.
Yeah, and reality TV really is about sort of carving out these storylines and these narratives once you get all that footage. And this show does that remarkably well. And some of the themes that you mentioned, Sharon, are just it makes for really compelling television. So you've overseen some hit series such as America's Got Talent, The Voice, The Traitors, Love Island. What makes a nature series different and so special?
First of all, you need love. Yeah. But I think all those types of programming are different types of programming, but they all kind of centralize around the same thing, is what we talked about earlier, which is what are the stories that we love to watch together with our families. And some of that has to do with love, some of that has to do with family. And I think when the team embarked on something like this, we didn't know, like Joey said, we didn't know what we were going to get. You even mentioned, were those shots real? You said earlier, they are real, like the technology and everything. But I think embarking on something that we've never done before, but also telling the stories of animals and locations that we've never been before, I think was the key. And I think the central theme across all the shows is leaning into themes and stories that we hadn't focused on before. So for this one, it was natural history in the Americas. For Traitors, it's trust, and putting a bunch of really exciting celebrities at the heart of that. And if you think about it, it's like the cast of characters. We have bears and their kids, and then on Traitors you have Alan Cumming and Phaedra. So you kind of have the same thing, right? Yeah.
Well, what does it mean to have someone like Tom Hanks narrating the series?
Oh man, we still think about it every day. How do we do that? I think for us, it was a dream come true for the entire team to work with him. He's an iconic person in America, but as an actor, but as a voice, but just as an individual. And I think we were so thrilled when we found out that he was passionate about this space and he wanted to join. I think as soon as he talked to Mike Gunton and talked to the team and saw what the ambition of this and what this was going to be, he was all in, and then the rest is history, like a dream come true. So I think his unique perspective to when you hear him tell the story about wild horses in the Northeast, it just resonates differently. It's almost like you're listening to your favorite friend or neighbor telling you a story about something that they care about, and I think there's something about him that gives you that feeling.
Oh, absolutely. He's got an amazing voice.
Yeah.
Definitely a voice we trust. Joey, Universal Television Alternative Studio produces the series alongside BBC Studios. What was it like collaborating with EP and renowned Emmy and BAFTA award-winning wildlife producer Mike Gunton?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Gunton is the gold standard of wildlife filmmaking. He has literally dedicated his entire life to this. And to see someone who's still just as passionate, just as excited, and I think maybe what I was most nervous getting into it was, would they be open to, changes or, new ways of doing things for this audience? Because this is the first time that a show like this was on broadcast, for broadcast audience, NBC audience. And the fact that he was so open to that and wanted to continue to push the genre forward, they just could not have been more collaborative partners. And I just got to spend some time with them last week, actually. They came to NBC to hang out for a little bit, and we caught up, and we just are so invested in these animals now. They were just updating us. I don't know if anyone saw the Andes episode. We have Sylvestra. It's a spectacled bear is what she's called, and it's what Paddington is based off of. But they make this incredible journey down this peak, dangerous peak, just to get these berries at this tree. And we just found out that one of those cubs, that was 3 months old now about 5 years old, is pregnant, and she's going to do the same journey, hopefully herself. So season 2, Sharon, maybe we can pick up that story.
Yeah, we're talking.
Maybe just a personal question. I was a little intrigued by something you said. What technological advances did you have to sell Mike on that he might not have been familiar with? Or what type of changes in the format did you want to make for this new audience?
Yeah, well, I think the technological advances was them selling us on those. Like, okay, if that makes sense, like, let's do it. For us, I think it was more about the storytelling, finding the right balance of course, everything's going to be based in science and factual, but we have to wrap it in humor and heart. There has to be, Tom has so many layers to him too, so he was the perfect person to be able to convey that. But it was seeing how far we could push that boundary. Sometimes we went a little too far and then, fixed it and brought it back. But finding the right balance of heart and humor really across the board to be able to draw a broad audience. Yeah,
and telling it across a 10 episode story, knowing that it would go on streaming the next day. So I think that's something that we've never done before, and so putting those stories together and the order of it, I think that was a long discussion for everyone, for all of us. Who's gonna go first? Right. Yeah.
Interesting. So I read that the production was mindful of the environment while filming, which led to the show earning the Gold Seal from the Environmental Media Association. Tell us more about what that means to you guys.
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, everyone had to do mandatory sustainability training. And it's funny that we even say mandatory because these people are so invested in these animals, these environments, protecting the planet. So there was nothing mandatory about it. They were already doing this in their everyday life. So it's pretty easy for them. But things that we were very aware of is ensuring that we were using drones, no helicopters, but using drones, not only to get these incredible aerial shots, but also tracking the animals themselves instead of driving around everywhere trying to find them, using drones and also being on foot to look for them. Also, the crew would opt to use to camp instead of staying in hotels and going back and forth in vehicles. Solar-powered, battery charging. Also, literally using donkeys to get equipment to the location. Yeah, it means a lot, and so it's so natural for them. So I love that being part of the show. Now it's impacted us too on how we do everything across all of our series.
That's incredible. This question's for you, Britt. So while marketing the show, NBC created a Come Together for Nature campaign to engage audiences even beyond the show itself. Talk about the process of securing the right partners for this and explain why it's important to create an impact campaign for this series.
Yeah, so all credit to our partners at NBC and Universal Television and BBC for creating and delivering just the most spectacular series. So from a marketer perspective, it made our jobs incredibly easy. But with the Americas, we really positioned it as an event. This is a once-in-a-generation type spectacular moment. And with that, we recognize the opportunity to engage audiences. And when you're watching the Americas, you can't help but feel this sense of awe and wonder and curiosity. And you're naturally asking, how did they do that? So we really wanted to create that connection between those emotions and give our viewers something to respond to and take them from the screen and into the real world with that kind of passion and energy. So the Come Together for Nature campaign was really born out of enabling our viewers with everyday actions and opportunities to get involved. So we brought together a number of partners in that endeavor who were already very impactful in this space, who we knew had immediate reach within audiences, both at home and in the education space, which was very important to us and to Tom as well. So we partnered with the National Wildlife Federation as our lead nonprofit partner, and they were really the heart of this impact campaign. They created a pledge program so that viewers could pledge their time to spend outdoors and small everyday actions to protect the planet and the wildlife in the series. They were also very instrumental in creating some of those educational outreach materials. So we had watch kits and companion curriculums to every episode, which really drove that accessibility of the Americas in classrooms, which was a meaningful endeavor for us. We also partnered with a number of consumer brands, including LG Electronics, All Trails, Parks Project, and through, we offered hiking trails in all of the regions of the Americas, or student grants to be able to fulfill their projects in classrooms. So in all, we really gave a variety of opportunities to get involved and meet our audience where they were at in their journey of environmental stewardship.
Are some of these social media campaigns still currently running? I mean, if so, I'd love to participate.
Thank you for asking. Yeah. They are actually NBC.com/Come Together for Nature. So thank you for that plug. But even just this week, we had a tremendous opportunity to start awarding some of the educational grants. So students were tasked with submitting projects and proposals for how they would like to spend their time outdoors. And so it's been really fulfilling to be able to see some of those come to life. There's a Title I school in Oregon who will be raising Chinook salmon hatchlings throughout the school year. And they will be using that to study the environment and their natural habitats. So we will have to update you on what happens to those salmon, but it's just an incredible opportunity to be able to see, some tangible impact coming out of this incredible series.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and as a team, it's been so fun to see the symphony efforts across NBC and the whole portfolio, and because the content is so unique, seeing, what you did through marketing, what's happened through press, and it's just been really fun because even my son is very excited about the show all the time, and he watches AGT in this. So, yeah.
So cool. Okay, so tell us more about some of those sustainability initiatives. I mean, we kind of touched on this; they came to life, but how have they inspired action at both a viewer level and an educational level? I think Britt, you covered that pretty well, but if there's anything to add, please.
Well, yeah, I think we had an incredible opportunity to run the series across 10 episodes, spanning Earth Month and Earth Day, which is really meaningful way to tie this to a timely event and get folks rallied around getting involved. But I'm happy to say that we have more than 350,000 people, students, teachers, and community members actively engaged in those programs throughout the series, more than 250,000 hours committed to spending outdoors and protecting the environment. So a number of other wonderful stats, but I think it was those anecdotal moments that we're hearing from teachers and families of just what the Americas means to them and the reminder of what it means to protect these environments for the next generation.
That's amazing. On a personal note, what was it like working on a show that has got so many people inspired and excited about nature and wildlife?
Well, first and foremost, it's exciting that it brought us here. So we're so excited to be here and to talk
First
to
and
you.
foremost, of course. Yes.
First and foremost. On a personal note, I have a 9-year-old son, and it's incredible to see a project like this that's such big scale at NBC across the portfolio that you can watch. It's co-viewing. You can do co-viewing, and it can be about animals. And it can be about your hometown, your home, basically. And I think that's not every single day you get to do that. And I think it's so special because you have on NBC, you have America's Got Talent, The Voice, which is an American show here, and then you have the Americas. So you're celebrating everything that's happening stateside, and you're doing it in different ways. So
you have quite a resume, Sharon.
It's our resume.
Yes, and it's much like an actor who wants to do a family film so that his children can see his work. Maybe he does action movies or something, and they're not age appropriate. But so you must be incredibly proud. That's really amazing. Yeah, the show is unbelievable. Well, that's all of our questions. You guys really covered a lot. For those of you that haven't seen the show, go watch it immediately. It is truly breathtaking.
It's on NBC and Peacock. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.